Patrick is asking, how do you deal with nerves?
Day 63, Ask the Maestro.
Well, Patrick, you can see I'm in a beautiful concert hall. I've got an orchestra slowly starting to come on stage for a rehearsal of 𝗠𝗔𝗦𝗧𝗥𝗢. There are 96 players on this stage. It's huge. There's two types of nerves, I think, for something like this. The first one is for rehearsal, and that's because you're nervous of what your colleagues might think of you if you make a mistake. But the thing you got to realize really quickly is everybody makes mistakes. And I can bet your bottom dollar that the people around you are equally as nervous of making a mistake. And the only people who are not nervous about making a mistake are the people who realize that we're all in the same boat, we can all make the mistakes, and nobody is usually critical when you make an error. That it's just part of music making. And I think the faster you realize that, and the more in your bones, in your body, in your DNA you get to that, the better. The second type of nerves, of course, is going on stage in front of a lot of people. And then the nerves are, what about if I make a mistake in front of lots of people? And the thing I realized very early on is that audiences also are very forgiving when you make a mistake. In fact, they quite often like it. And I know that's a strange thing to say, but it is a live performance. Mistakes happen all the time. There isn't a single performance where there is not a mistake. It just doesn't happen. So they're not listening to a CD. They've come out for a live experience. So if there is a mistake, if you have to stop, if there's a wrong note somewhere, nobody cares. And if it's a really bad mistake and you have to stop, the audience find it fascinating as long as you deal with it in a nice way. And I think what that means is that, again, as soon as you realize that nobody minds if you make mistakes, that whole panic about, oh my God, what happens if I make a mistake, lifts, it gets removed from your shoulders. And as soon as that happens, you realize what is the point of being nervous? What's the positive element of it? And you realize that, well, there isn't one. There isn't one at all. It's very easy for me to say that because I just don't get nervous. And I'm convinced the reason why I don't get nervous is because I feel those two things. I don't worry about making mistakes in front of peers. I don't worry about making mistakes in front of an audience. And also, I think the third element, which is a global element, just to remember, we're doing entertainment here. It could be serious entertainment, it could be fun, it's still entertainment. If we make a mistake, nobody's gonna die, nobody's gonna get hurt. So just don't take it too seriously. Have a sense of self-importance that is enough to be confident, but not a sense of self-importance that is enough to make you feel like you're doing the most important thing in the world, because you're not. Again, as soon as you realize that, it just makes life so much easier. I am going to make a mistake in conducting 𝗠𝗦𝗧𝗥𝗢. I know it, and I'm okay with that.